Welcome to Bid on You, the podcast, where we help you navigate the chaos of life and experience the bliss of backing yourself. Hosted by yours truly, Marissa Lee. Every Friday, we sit down with creatives, artists, influencers, and just some regular folks to talk dating, adulting, faith, culture, and all the random thoughts in between. It's time to bid on you. So let's start the show. Give me a practical example of like a habit or a routine, like as a mom, as a wife, having a lot going on.
I don't necessarily have a flat habit, but I do know that whenever I get overwhelmed, whenever I'm feeling that like Inside Out 2 anxiety you have to leave
I'm literally
feeling,
gonna watch tonight, so boom.
you have to leave feeling, I know that I need to go touch grass. I need nature.
Yeah.
For me, because nature is such an obvious expression of God.
Mm-hmm.
And I live in a place where nature is easily accessible to me. So when I go outside and I take a look, I'm looking outside right now because it's just so pretty. When I take a look outside and I see that all these things are really stressing me out, or it doesn't compare to the abundance that's in my life. So it just gives me a shift in my perspective and moment to moment. That's one of my practical steps. The next one, I can't even say the next. It's always like prayer, speaking to a friend, or going outside. Once I go outside, all is well, all is good. Have a child. That's another thing.
Now, let me just tell y'all, enter at your own risk. This is not sponsored by Bid on You. I have never told y'all to have a baby.
This is the pro package. This is the $12.99 a month subscription. Okay, it's gonna take a little something out of you. You're gonna have to put some skin in the game. I think that one of the blessings of parenting, I can't even really say parenting because he's one. Like, what's really there to parent? You know what I mean? Being there to make sure that your child is sustained.
Right, alive.
One of the blessings of that is you see all of the ways. Okay, the people closest to you are a mirror, right? But because your child is a direct reflection of you but many, you see all the ways daily, especially with a toddler, that you need a little stretch, a little grace, a little more, and a little more this, okay? Because they will try you. But they're not trying you because they want to try you. They're trying you because they just arrived.
Yeah, we just arrived, but they barely are here for real.
They haven't just even put their shoes on. Actually, they just took their shoes off. At least we've been walking around. They just took their shoes off. They're trying to understand, like, oh, y'all got grass? What does it taste like? How the lack of patience that you have with your child is oftentimes the lack of patience you have with yourself. The talk that you're willing to express to your child is what you're willing to express to yourself. So when I'm having a really hard day with David, when I'm having a really hard day with him and I'm like, David, get away from there, like freaking out, whatever, he doesn't know any better. Like, he really doesn't know any better. And I might think that I know better in certain situations. I really don't know any better. I just got here. So I use the same type of, it's being cultivated in me. The same patience that's being cultivated in me is being extended to myself. So in terms of a practice, you have to take a look at the thing in your life that causes you the shortest fuse. Where is your shortest fuse coming from?
What do you think is a sign of that? What's the sign that you're not treating yourself like you would a friend? Like, like a short fuse moment, impatience going off? Is that what you mean?
Yes. So not just that, but at what point, right? Because there are things that are just going to be triggers naturally because people are crazy. But then where are the consistent triggers in your life? Can you point that out? If you take a second to think, like, this is consistently something that's made me come out of pocket, really and truly, can you take that thing and give yourself more grace to handle that thing? But why? Really dig into why is this irritating me? With David, why is it such an irritation that he's pulling things off of the couch? It's an extreme irritation because to me, a space that's not tidy
Yeah.
is a sign. It's embarrassment. It's like a sign that I don't have things under control and I should have things under control. And so I'm mad at him because I don't have things under control for me and I don't know how to get things under control. And so now I'm frustrated. I'm taking that frustration out on him. I need to go outside because outside is mass chaos that's somehow all perfectly ordered.
Right.
How did this forest get here? I don't know, but it's
doing anything.
beautiful and everything's been taken care of. There is not a tree out of place, is there? So maybe,
weird.
just maybe, weird. So maybe, just maybe, I should take a second to give myself an opportunity to let the moment be what the moment is. My house is not always going to be messy. God will help me. I'm good. That's pretty much what I do. If I'm having a day, girl, go outside. Go outside.
And that be what's going on with me because I'll not leave for like 2-3 days and I'll be like, what's going on?
You need to touch a little grass, look at some green, let the sun shine on you.
Yeah, my plants are like, we can't do it all. You're going to have to get reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, I think it's a little bit bonkers that you would come onto my show and read me in front of my members and friends.
Yeah.
But hey. Hey.
You're doing the same.
What was I thinking? Literally.
You hear my secrets. They're out in the ether.
Hello? Like, welcome home.
Thank you.
That's what it's giving.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go to our bids section of the show. So bids on the show are just questions, letters, etc. that members send in when they know, hey, we're getting ready to talk about this or I'm going through this. So you can DM us at BS on You, the podcast, or watch our story because this season I'm going to start dropping some little polls, some little question opportunities on there. So you can drop them in there. We might answer them on the show. But for today, this is along the same lines of what we're talking about because I think, I live for practicality in every aspect. I need that in therapy. I need that in theology. I need that on my show. So what's your advice for people who feel guilty or selfish about prioritizing their own well-being, which we are clearly saying is a part of being a friend to yourself?
Well, I think feeling guilty or selfish about prioritizing yourself is rooted in pride because you feel as though you're able to sustain yourself completely. And if you think that, then girl, I don't know, the rock is impacting you more than you need to impact the rock being the earth. This one. It's really important to recognize that, since you didn't arrive here on your own accord, or maybe we did somehow, but as far as we're aware, we didn't arrive here on our own accord.
I don't think I would have chose this. Yeah, I don't think I would have chose this.
I would have chosen
what they got going on in Mars. I would have been asking the Lord. Like,
I don't need to know
what's
because
Jupiter
I feel like if it's hard, if it's rough here, Mars can't be any better.
There's a said life's better on Saturn.
I mean,
so I'm trying to see what Saturn's talking about.
Yeah, double ring me.
She probably know. Anyway.
Right. Yeah. What was the question? Because now
how is that pride though?
Pride, because it's self-sustaining.
I'm curious when you say that guilt, pride.
Yeah, because the guilt, the selfishness comes from an idea, a concept within you that feels like you're self-sufficient. So I feel selfish that I need a second to myself. You needing a second to yourself is relying on something outside of you to give, or inside of you kind of, but like it's relying on something beyond you to give you sustenance. Like it doesn't matter how much a flower grows, it still needs the sun. Like what is the fullest extent it can be? It still needs the sun no matter what. Like, I mean, I know that there are a couple who don't, but that's not what we're talking about. You need the sun, you need water,
They all kind of do eventually.
You need dirt. Like you all need the things to be sustained.
Rain.
Heard a really lovely bit of insight where it was a therapist. It was a TikTok video, of course, but basically the girl was talking about how her therapist told her that she's not a believer, but her therapist told her that like God is your source. Your friends, family, loved ones, all those things are your fertilizer. And you're you. But like you need to be connected to a source in order for you to get the things that you actually need and not rely on the fertilizer to be what sustains you. So sometimes we feel like we ourselves are our own fertilizer, and that's not true. Like we need rest, we need time, we need a moment to ourselves to breathe, and we're better for it. Like for me, I love spending time with my child, but when it comes to be a couple of days and I had no moment to myself, I'm not gracious towards him, and he's a child, a baby. So what does that say? That says no matter how much I think I'm equipped to handle him alone, I need a moment of time to myself. I need to go get my nails done. I need to go get my hair done. I need to feel good internally. I need to touch some grass. So I think that when you're starting to feel like guilty about not taking time to yourself, think about the fact that one, you didn't put yourself here. So you're not responsible completely for sustaining yourself. I can't sustain myself. Like I said, I just got here for the first. I told y'all at the beginning of this, I call my mom for absolutely everything.
What do we know?
I call my mom, and she also just got here. So I call my mom for absolutely everything. I don't want
She's also just a girl.
Just a girl becoming a woman. I don't want to limit what my life could be, what I could do, what I can have based on emotions that really don't cater to the needs that I have. Because whether or not you feel selfish or guilty, there's still a need that's being unmet. Selfish to me is if you exclude everything important just for you. That's not right. Like if you're taking from other people, if you're excluding the needs of others that you're capable of providing and are willing to provide in a conscious way, if you're not willing to give what you get in a good way, that's selfish. But if you just need a second to yourself to breathe, you need to be sustained, you need to eat a good meal, get your hair done, get your nails done, feel good. There's nothing wrong with that. I know you're practical in your applications. So I think a practical way of just recognizing that and coming past it is number one, focusing on doing things that make you feel good, no matter what. Like in a conscious, kind way, focusing on things that feed your soul. Like it would be selfish for you not to feed yourself and not feed your child or your dog or your partner. But remember that you need food. Like, don't just feed them without feeding yourself. They tell you on the plane, put the little thing on your face before you help another person. So make sure that you're doing that. Yeah.
And ultimately, I think the pride side in my mind is not necessarily like that I'm my own source, but that I'm someone else's, because it's like God loves them too. So it's like, oh, if I don't pick up the phone, what will they do? Like, that's very much how I feel. And I just have to give that to God and trust that He can show up for them how He shows up for me.
Yeah.
Because He's everywhere at all times. I'm not. And I just think, again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, if I can't be a friend to myself, care for myself, take care of myself, then I'm seeing over and over again, no matter how great I think I'm doing for others, it's actually piss poor. Because now we all mad. Now you upset and I'm worse. Like, it really is pouring from the empty cup. At this point, some days we don't even have a cup. And so it's really being able to be real with yourself, then that person, and the people are just going to have to live with it because they need to be able to sustain themselves too through the Lord. You know what I mean? They need to have their own rock to build their church upon and return to. So
I will
I don't
say,
know.
adding on that, it is always interesting to me how it's notated many times that Jesus took a nap.
One
He
thing
was
he was going to do
tired,
is
so
go
he said
off by
one
himself.
thing, he was going to go on by
Literally,
himself.
bruh. Every
One
5
thing about
seconds, he
it.
did 2 miracles and said, all right,
Listen,
I'm going to see
okay,
y'all in
he
a
said,
month.
all right, I'm going to see y'all when I see you. And you're going
Those
to
people
see
looking
me.
for us.
But the
And here
thing
you go
is, like,
wandering into the wilderness.
think about it this way: you are coming
That's
from,
good.
I don't know the map, right? But let me just say the first thing that came to my mind. You're coming from Caesarea Philippi to Judea. I don't know. It was probably your
Right.
next door.
Samaria, all of them.
Let's say you're coming from a land
On
of
foot.
on foot, on donkey, with all of your items to be healed of a sickness that you've had for ages, and this man says, "I need to take a nap."
Hey, I'm
Now,
going to get you, but I got to go lay down.
like, how many
Jesus
people do
went
you
and
think
laid down.
he healed? So many people, but like, how many people do you think came and they were like,
Mm,
"Today's my day. Today's my day," and Jesus
wow.
was like, "I have to take a nap. Tomorrow's gonna have to be your day." Like, how? Because he was a
They
person
still got healed.
and still got healed. Like, still, all the
Didn't
thing that was
interrupt
meant to
God's
happen still
will.
happened. Like the thing that was meant to happen still happened. So at the end of the day, you have to take care of
That's
yourself.
good.
Don't feel bad
That's
about that.
good.
You think if the Lord
I
had to
don't
know
take care of me, I can't
everything,
take care of you. So I think if you're a person that's like, it's easier said than done, and if it's really ingrained in you, and if you have to kind of start similar to what I said in the beginning about like, if you really are fixated on others and you want to work towards having that fixation on yourself as well, then just say, oh, I can't show up for them if I'm not showing up for me. Like if you have to put that other person first outward and you're trying to overcome people pleasing, perfectionism, etc., eventually, once you get into the practice of that, it's like, no, I actually need to do this for me, not just for you, but appreciate it. Like now we know and it's proven from every side. And I think that kind of absolves you of some of those fears there. So sometimes it's just literally rewiring the brain, tricking yourself
mm-hmm.
back into what it was meant to be in the first place before you
Yeah,
learned otherwise.
yeah.
And on that note, my final question to you, Miss Girl, with all this wisdom that you have dropped, pick some of it up. Okay, let me borrow it to say something to you. She's like, I actually got to go. How are you going to bid on you in this next season of life as a friend to yourself and your 11 children?
That's a really beautiful question.
So loud, I jumped.
That was a really beautiful question. Thank you for asking. I think the way that I'm bidding on me right now is I'm dedicated to the journey of submission. I'm dedicated to the journey of unlearning. And I'm dedicated to making my birthday's in a couple of weeks. So I'm dedicated to making this last, I don't want to say this last trip because it ain't going to be the last, but this next year, I'm dedicated to making it count because I realize that when you're going through really massive transitions in your life, they're only propelling you forward. They're not taking you back. And the last time that I went through a really massive transition, I tried holding on so tightly to what was my life rather than surrendering. And if I would have surrendered, I feel like I could have had an even better time. And so now I am dedicated to releasing the things that I felt like I needed for me and instead listening to what God says that I actually need, applying that to my life and following through with it, which are things that I've never really been good at. Obedience, not my jam. But it's becoming my jam in this season because I'm dedicated to really living in the fruitfulness and abundance that I know is there for me. And I'm excited to see what that looks like. So I'm bidding on myself in all the ways. Catch me this time next year. She'll be
last one though.
refreshed.
Living so good. Remember, no pain. I swear. Sis gonna come on the show. At this point, we done manifest her in here.
See?
But that's beautiful. You made me want to cry.
I love you. We always make each other cry.
But I caught it. I rolled it back in my right eyeball.
Yeah.
We
Because the
always
same goes
do.
for
That's why
you.
I'm trying to hold
This
it
isn't just
together.
for me. It's for the both of us.
Yeah. No, I think something that's been heavy is forget the former things. Don't dwell on the past. I'm doing a new one. And I think that there were so many things in the past I didn't know when I had how great they were. And I can't imagine the new thing being better.
It will be.
But he done gone and said, forget it.
Don't
dwell on it.
But he doesn't say don't dwell on it with like ill intent.
Get over it.
He says don't dwell on it, understanding the pain of letting it go and realizing the joy that will be before you. The time in between is only to shape and mold you to be able to handle what's coming. That's it. Really bit. He's saying bit on me.
Bit on me. God said bit on me.
If you bit on me.
Hello? Hello? Store your treasures up in heaven.
He said, I'm telling you, I'm not going to let you down. I don't know why y'all don't believe me, but okay.
Literally. I really was trying to click that, and now we're just going on and on before we close out. But I really was trying to click that. This is the Holy Spirit led today. That, and hopefully every day, but especially today, I was listening to Same God, which had just been on me to listen to, and then I was listening to it yesterday morning. And for whatever reason, the concept that the one I'm like, hey, what's the plan with X, Y, and Z next week? Is the same one that put that ram in that bush for Abraham is blowing me. Like, I'm not gathering that you the same one locked in with Mary and said, I'ma do it, don't worry about it. The Spirit will come upon you. What do you mean by that? You gave Elizabeth a baby in her old age. And I'm over here like, what you think about X, Y, and Z?
And that's why
Like, it's the same number?
Always.
It is.
He's really great.
Don't change the main line. Look into
today, I was like, are you, because I opened up to a journal entry. I know we about to wrap up, but real quick, I opened up to a journal entry that was like, he was talking to me and I was writing it down and I felt like I did the thing that he told me not to do yet again. And I was like, are you resisting me? Like, I can't hear you clearly. Are you far from me? You know? And then he gave me this really massive blessing today that came in a roundabout, why you did this way, Lord. It could have really just been
always talk in circumstance. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know why y'all think I stood a chance. When y'all call me dramatic, I'm made in the image of God. So do you want to see drama and flair? It's always got to give late in the midnight hour. It's always got to give. Let me make sure y'all know it was me. Got to get the glory. Like, bruh, we going to give you the glory. He probably knows we wouldn't, and that's why.
Maybe I wouldn't have.
I'm going to do it.
But like, yo, wait. For real, yo. Wait.
If you come in early with it, Lord, I don't have to cry and shuck and jive, I'll praise you. But he's like, I know you.
Said, okay.
So that's why he'd be like,
and go. So with that, I got a really massive blessing that came in a roundabout way. But as I was walking back into the building that I was coming from, I was walking back in and he was like, you still think that, what did he say? He's like, you still think that I'm disconnected from you? I was like, oh, okay. And on that note,
he said, what were you saying?
He said, you still think I'm resisting you?
I know. I wanted you to say it again because that's what he did. I'm just acting like my father.
See how?
And on that note,
yeah,
correct. Thank y'all so much for watching. We love you. We're beating on you to treat yourself like a friend. And thanks for being a friend of the show. And we'll see you next time.